Order. Please stand for the pledging of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so I have a second motion after. Good evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Madam Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting, and today's date is Monday, June 25th, 2018. Roll call was taken during our public meeting, and we had a quorum. So if we can, the roll will show that all members are present with the exception of Councilman Wadsworth, if that's acceptable. Thank you. The regular meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5 is the mayor's report. 6A is the clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9 is new business. 10, communication. 11 is warrant 18-12. And number 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
6A2 for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held on June 11th, 2008.
So moved for approval of minutes of the special meeting held June 11th, 2018.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from the regular city council meeting, which was held June 11th, 2018. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special open meeting held on Monday, June the 11th, 2018. This was regarding the city quarterly investment report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to approve the minutes from the open study session at 7 p.m. that was held on June 11th for the city quarterly investment report.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from our special open meeting held, which was June 11th, 2018, in the city quarterly investment report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I hope all you fathers had a nice Father's Day. I did. And I ate a lot and had a lot of fun with my kids. Cost me a lot of money though, but I thought it was my day, but you know, I was happy to do it. Tonight we had a meeting at 6:30. It was a public hearing discussing demolition list 18 through -01. At this time, the chair is going to recognize Councilwoman Abdo.
Thank you, John. I just want to take this time to wish Councilman William Wadsworth and his wife, Jeannie, a happy 51st anniversary. That's why he's not here tonight. He's celebrating on a trip.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo.
Okay.
Next, I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Williams.
Good evening. I would like to ask the council to support a memorial resolution for Bridget Denise Johnson.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by, was that Ms. Webb?
Yeah.
Okay. For memorial resolution, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Next, Chair would like to recognize Councilwoman Talley.
And also, I would also like to make a memorial resolution for, it was a resident who was here a couple of weeks ago, Dale McPhail. Since the time she was here 3 weeks ago, her mother has passed, so we'd like to do a memorial resolution for her. Her mother is Gloria McPhail Denham, and I would like to make a motion for her memorial
Support.
resolution.
Any seconds?
She supported.
Oh, okay, didn't hear. Been motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Webb for memorial resolution. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. With that, that's going to conclude the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll
Yes.
make that motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, number 5, is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Tonight I brought this quote because it kind of ties into this time of year. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. And I picked that because school's out. And even though school's out, there's still a lot of activities in our community, not just around the schools, but also in the neighborhood. So slow down, be careful driving, look out for kids walking, riding bikes. We've got a busy week coming up this week with events and fireworks and others. So just please help us keep a lookout for young and old during this time. We have a short little video clip on some of the events coming up. If we could roll that, Roger.
Here are some events coming up. The Romulus Library will host a family music concert tomorrow, the 26th at 6 p.m. The Farmers Market is underway and will run through September the 26th. It's located near the pavilion at the Historical Park in downtown Romulus. The annual fireworks show will be held Thursday the 28th behind the middle school on Wick Road. On Friday the 29th, you can build with Legos at the Romulus Library beginning at 1 p.m. The city and the chamber are sponsoring a trip to Toledo for a Mud Hens game this Friday the 29th. The trip will include bus down and back, party suite, and tickets. You can see Betsy at the chamber office to purchase. Next Sounds in Downtown will be Friday, July the 13th with the Scott Martin Band reliving the 90s. And on Friday the 27th, a tribute to Journey by the band Infinity and Beyond. To find out more about all of our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Now on for my action items for my report. First one up is item A. This is a request to concur with the recommendation of Josh Money, our captain of police, and also legal counsel. And it's a request to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to waive the bid requirements and enter into the attached software and as a service agreement with Power DMS, Inc., one-time fee for the training of the cloud-based platform, which is $1,500, and an annual reoccurring cost of the Power DMS in the amount of $4,480. This is for only approved accredited platform that's available, and Suzanne Marino has verified the funds available in the 18-19 budget.
Chair, I'll make that motion to approve the Power DMS contract for the Romulus Police Department.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, and this is for the Power DMS contract for the Romulus Police Department. Mayor, if it's possible, I'd like to, could you have one of your department heads to explain? I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Captain Monty here. Captain, you want to come up and give a little background on it?
Thank you.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Madam Clerk, Treasurer. The MACP accreditation it's essentially an analysis of how we're conducting business. We look at our existing standards, we look at our existing policies, and we do a self-analysis to determine which existing operations we're successfully providing to our residents and which operations we can improve upon. This is an internal component. It does not affect our hiring standards. We're still going to hire the best candidate that fits the needs and the expectations of our community. This is internally how we provide our service to our residents.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for council? Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. Marley.
Thank you, Captain.
Okay, Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Council, the next item is a request, a recommendation from Carol Mays, our city planner, and Stephen Hitchcock, our legal counsel. Concur the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached extended professional service agreement in the city of Romulus and Safe Built LLC/LSL Planning to continue providing the ongoing as-needed planning consultant services to the city. As you know, this group has backed up our planning since 2002 with contract services.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make the motion that was stated by the mayor, of which we have the agreement right here with us, so I won't read it again.
Support.
Okay, been motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe. This is for the Safe Bill LSL Planning Ongoing Service Contract Extension. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up, I have a couple no-fee permits coming up. The first is a request from Jasmine Dancy, Community Services Director, and it's to concur with the administration on no-fee permit for the utilization of the Elmer Johnson Park Horseshoe Pits every Wednesday through August 31st of this year. The hours are 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion to concur with administration, authorize a no-fee permit to the Horseshoe Club.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe for a no-fee permit for the Elmer Johnson's Horseshoe Pits. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the next no-fee permit is a request that also came from Jasmine Dancy, Community Service Director, and this is to concur with the administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the use of the Historical Park on August 25th of this year. That will be from 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For a back-to-school rally for the community, and it's hosted by Pastor Daniel Young of Freedom Christian Worship Center of Romulus.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that a motion to concur with administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the use of the Historical Park Pavilion on August 25th, 2018 for the back-to-school rally for the community.
I support that with a comment.
Okay. It's been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, and this is for the no-fee permit for the Historical Park Pavilion. Ms. Webb?
And this event will be open to the community and will give away free school supplies.
Great. Okay, Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor.
6A is the clerk's report. Mr. Chair and Council, item 6A1 is going to require council to take actions on 3 portions of this. And the first one is the Construction Board of Appeals held a demolition hearing on Wednesday, April 18th, 2018, and the Construction Board of Appeals is recommending approval for demolition of structures and removal of all debris on the demolition list 1801 of the following properties: 35911 Bibbins, 36773 Bibbins, 9035 Grover, and 35865 Vinewood. The motion would be in order, if, for you to take action to adopt a resolution to approve just those 4 properties that's on the demolition list.
Okay.
Chair, I'll make that motion to approve the demolition of the structures named by our city clerk at the addresses 35911 Bivens, 36773 Bivens, 9035 Grover, and 35865 Vinewood.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, and that's for the approval of demolition, instruction, and removal as listed, as was listed by the clerk. Any discussion? No discussion. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
You notice on that list, there were 5 properties listed, but after the public hearing, we're asking council if you would motion to table from the demolition list the property located on 37511 Huron River Drive for up to 90 days with conditions that the city will be reimbursed to cover costs incurred and payment of a $5,000 bond, which will be released upon completion.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I'll
Ms.
make that,
Abdo?
I'll make that motion to table property located at 37511 Huron River Drive up to 90 days with the condition that the city is reimbursed to cover cost incurred and payment of $5,000 cash bond be released upon completion.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and this is for the table 37511 for, as listed by Mrs. Abdo, Councilwoman Abdo. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
The last part of this request here is that we're asking council to adopt a resolution to let for bids for the demolition of the 4 properties that were mentioned.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe for the list that was mentioned. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
6A2, what you have before you, council, are the new water and sewer rates, which will go into effect July 5th, 2018. This does not require any action from council unless you disapprove of these new water and sewer rates.
Okay. Ms. Williams, you had a comment.
Yes. I would like to make a motion to reject the new water rates at this time. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Williams, supported by Ms. Webb, to reject the new water rates at this time. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, roll call vote. Oh, discussion, Ms.
No, I was gonna let the maker of the motion discuss.
First.
I just believe at this time, we have hit the residents with so much all at one time. We really need to be considerate. I mean, is it really, really necessary that we raise the water rates at this time? I spoke with Abby, and my opinion, because I'm also a taxpayer and I pay a water bill, and I just don't believe at this time that we should be asking the taxpayers to pay anything else. I think we can hold this off for a little while longer, and that's just my opinion.
Any other discussion?
I just wonder why we did not have a study session before these were brought before us. We didn't know what the rates were gonna be. Only the Great Lakes Water Authority information we had, but we were unable to, maybe there was a time frame where we couldn't have any discussion on this, because I would love to have known what the rates would have been. I had no idea, and then also in the memorandum it states that finance or the water department have not yet received the Rouge Valley Sewage System flat charges for 2018 through 2019. And with these unknown costs, it may be necessary to come before council in the near future to revise the sewer rates. So I cannot vote on something that I don't have here in my hand in black and white. Well, I can vote on it, I can't support it.
And I have a comment.
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I would like someone to come up and go over the wholesale rate increase, approximately 3.72%, and where that falls in with our water rates.
Yeah, we can have someone come up and discuss that, or we can, if you request a study session, we can do that too.
Yeah.
Options. Thank you.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
When we prepare the water rates, we start with what we get from GLEWA. They give us an estimate of how much water they think we're going to buy from them and how much they need from the city of Romulus to support their budget. Their cost is split into two components. 60%, the biggest part, is the fixed water rate. We pay that no matter how much water we use. What we've done with that is that's charged to all the residents based on the size of their meter. That went up 5.3%. That was 100% pass-through. The fixed for all the residents have gone up 5.3, just the same amount that the city of Detroit went up on us. Total pass-through. The commodity rate, or the consumer's rate, went up a little more than 3%, but that's only one component of the consumer's rate. It only went up 0.48%. So the other components, there was a nice pie chart attached to the information we gave you. The GLEWA, or the Great Lakes Water Authority, GLEWA, their commodity rate makes up about 25% of the commodity rate or consumer's rate. The rest is debt that we have to pay, depreciation costs, which kind of smooths out our capital replacement cost, and our city operational costs, which is our personnel, our vehicles, our engineers, gas, insurance, all those costs that makes up the water fund. So all those together, that ended up being not even a percent increase, 0.48. To speak of the sewer rate right now, it's no increase. That's what you're presented with right now, is no increase to the sewer rate. Like I said, in the memo it said we may come back later, we don't know, but the rate will not go up without us coming back before council for that sewer rate. So right now, it's less than 1% of the commodity rate or consumer's rate, and the fixed went up 5.3, which is in the exact amount GLEWA went up for the city. Anything else?
Go ahead, Ms.
So if I understand that right, what is going up for the residents is the cost that was passed on to us
Correct.
as far as the rate increase.
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
When I spoke with you earlier, Ms. Atkins, and I had the impression that it was actually going up 1.5% or 1.5 cent additional. My concern is, even before I became a council member, I used to sit out there and I used to be really upset when the city council up here continually raised the rate. Now, I went through this with you for many years. Detroit would charge the suburbs a certain amount, and then the suburbs would put a spin on it, if that's what you want to call it. I just don't agree with that. I think, I mean, because I sit up here, I think we need to be conscious of how we treat our residents. And I just don't think this is the right time to be raising the water rates. I really don't.
So you mentioned the 1.5 cents?
Yes.
That is that 0.48%. The rate went up, so it went up a little more than a penny.
Right, but when you calculate it and you say the dollar amount, because we went, I remember at one point, Detroit was charging the city of Romulus like, I think it was like $9 and something per 1,000 cubic feet. That was a while ago. But then the city of Romulus would charge the residents $26 or $25. So all I'm saying is, I understand that Detroit went up on their water, Great Lake Water Authority went up on their water, and if it's only 1.5 cent, do we have to do it now?
The rate is based on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
It's to cover the cost of the budget that was approved by council. It's nothing, it's not like we're not making a profit. We can't make a profit. It's just to cover our cost. And if we don't increase the rates, then what you're doing is using fund balance. You're going to use the money that you have set aside to make repairs if there's any catastrophic, event. And so we have to have a fund balance for the water fund.
If I could,
Yes, Mayor. Finish, Mr.
Abby, so if you could say again, the fixed rate is a direct pass-through.
Direct
Correct.
pass-through.
And so, when I hear comments, and no one likes to have increases in anything, we provide a service, right? We buy the water from Great Lakes Water Authority, and we provide a service, and any of those variable rates are just really covering our costs. We don't make money. We can't make money. We have to provide those services to keep, water's essential service. So, we want to make sure that they have the best services there. So we have employees, we have vehicles and equipment to ensure that that's a quality product that they're getting. So this isn't something that we want to do either, but it's necessary to do so that our citizens are safe and that we're responsible with it. So, that's the way it's happened. When I was 16 years on council, you don't want to see increases, but we're a customer of that service. So, thank you, Abby.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
And I would just like to say, even with this before us, we have an issue. Residents brought it to my attention that, and the mayor haven't even brought it to my attention at least, with the lead in the water. I've been in Romulus almost 50 years, and I've never drunk the water because of different particles flying around in the water. So to just be so nilly-willy to want to raise the water because of whatever excuse we can come up with, we need to make sure, number one, whatever situation is going on with the lead, we need to make sure the residents know, they're aware of it. And I'm not for sure of how many homes the city of Romulus has to check, because we haven't been told, or I haven't been told. But as I said, I just don't think it's time. It's a lot of things going on, and I just don't think it's time to increase the water rate.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll leave the water rate alone, but as far as any lead in the water, we do communicate. We communicate on a regular basis with our clear water report. We communicate in our newsletter. So from the standpoint of communicating and being transparent with the public, we're there. So if you want to have a study session on that one, we'll bring Roberto in and talk about it and go through any data you want to go through. But clean water is very important. It's an essential service to our residents. So information's out there. I'll be happy to share it, city council or the public. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, if no other comments, roll call vote. There was a motion by Ms. Williams, supported by Ms. Webb, and this is to rescind the new water rates, water and sewer rates.
Do we send it?
Ms. Williams,
Bobby?
you voted, you want to rescind the new water rates?
Yes.
Right, that's what I thought.
Say? Reject.
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 Okay,
Reject, I think
all
is
right.
the word.
Okay, Ms. Williams,
Yes, I support not to raise the water, yes.
Ms. Webb,
I voted no on it.
okay.
No one.
Ms. Abdo,
On
Ms.
Wait a
Abdo,
second.
it.
Could
Okay.
you restate the motion
Yeah,
again?
because I'm
Yeah.
getting confused, John. Okay.
It was-
Read that again, please.
it was, Ms. Williams wanted to reject the new water rates.
Okay,
And-
what was the motion? Maybe that's what I need to hear. What was the motion?
Motion was to reject the new water rates. That was the motion.
Yes.
Reject the rates.
Yeah, and you supported it.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
got
You
it now.
voted no
Okay.
this time?
Okay. Let's try it again.
Let's try it again.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes, I reject it.
Yes, you rejected.
Yes, I vote to reject the new water rates.
So you vote no.
So I'm voting no.
Right.
No, wait,
That's
what
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
motion?
What is the
Yes,
motion?
yes, yes.
John,
Go
it's
ahead,
a-
yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay,
Ex-
Ms. Roscoe.
Wait, start over, John. Start over and read the motion so that we can all,
Well, the motion again, I'm gonna say it again, was to reject the new water rates, which was by Ms. Williams and supported by Ms. Webb.
okay. And Ms.
Okay.
Williams voted yes to reject.
Ms. Williams voted yes to reject it. Ms. Webb voted yes to reject it, and you
Ms.
voted
Abdo,
yes
yes,
to
okay.
reject it. Okay? Ms. Roscoe?
No.
No. Ms. Talley?
No.
Chair votes no. Motion failed.
Tie.
1, 2,
So they go
3.
in effect.
So,
It's a tie. Motion fails.
Motion fails.
Okay?
Okay.
the last the item under the clerk's report is 6A3. And this is a request from the Public Services Director, Robert McCrate. And this is a request for a public hearing for Monday, July 23rd, 2018 at 7:00 p.m. for demolition of a tabled item from demolition list 18-01. And the property is located on 35606 Bibbins.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for a request for a public hearing on Monday, July 23rd, 2018, at 7 p.m. for the demolition of a tabled item on demolition list 18-01 at the address 35606 Bibbins.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley. This is a request for a public hearing on Monday, July the 23rd, 2018, at 7 p.m. for the demolition of a tabled item on demolition list 18-01, which is address of 35606 Bivens. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. I have one item on my agenda, and that's just to remind everybody that tax bills will be mailed out on June 29th. They are to be received in your home by July 1st. For some reason, if you do not receive it, you can call the treasurer's office at 734-942-7580. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment. A portion of the agenda for individuals that would like to address city council. You must raise your hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state your name and address. Remarks should be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chair. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. Anyone not adhering to this rule shall lose their right to address city council. Response to any of the questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business. And that's only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. Mr. Chair and Council, we have several requests to speak, and the first person or resident is a Norman McKenzie. Mr. McKenzie, if you're here, you can please approach the podium.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and council members.
Good afternoon.
I feel kind of exempted I can no longer wash my car. That's a joke. Okay. And I can't use profanity. Okay. My name is Norman McKinnon. I live at 32679 Gateway Drive. If anyone would care to look at these photographs while I'm talking, I hope to be very brief. Yes, right. Briefly, I live at 32679 Gateway Drive on the south side of the street. This is a parking complaint created by my neighbor who is conducting a used car lot sales business using his home, the streets, and the spaces in front of my home as a sales lot. My neighbor resides at 32679 Gateway Drive, which is located diagonally across from my home. He has conducted sales for more than 3 years. People talk about it in the neighborhood, nobody's doing anything. Number one of the photo that I gave you is a picture of 4 vehicles parked in his driveway, and you can only see the other 2 inside if you walk by. So in his driveway is 4, on the driveway is 2, inside of the garage. Photo number 2 is a van parked in front of my home, where it obstructs the attempts of the waste management to pick up refuse on Thursday and Friday. I'm beginning to take this kind of person. In a lot of the cases, he doesn't park anything in front of my house until Thursday and Friday. I spoke to him in reference to this matter and attempted to resolve it in a peaceful fashion. He's not here, what I'm saying. I also put my cans out on one occasion that he didn't park there. And the next thing I knew, I looked outside. He parked the vehicle and backed them up against my trash cans. So the rule is the trash cans have to be 3 feet apart. Otherwise, waste management won't pick them up. I have discussed the parking violation situation with my neighbor on several occasions during the past 2.5 years, all to no avail. I have discussed the situation with the parking enforcement of the city of Romulus. And I've been asked questions like, was the car stolen? I don't know. Are there plates on the car? In a lot of cases, there aren't any plates on the car. Oh, well, we can come out and we can mark the tires periodically and come back, and if it's still there and hasn't been moved, we can issue a ticket. If it's stolen, we can possibly tow it. I don't have any problem with any citizen parking their car on the street. But then, right now, I feel that my peace and tranquility is being disrupted, along with my family members. I think I think I covered all of it in the photographs. One is of a gold van parked there. Right now, there's a gold Lexus, no plates on it. It's a 5-day straight. And so when I come out on Thursday, when I put my waste management trash cans out, I search right quick to see whether or not I'm taking any space. And then I'll put mine out accordingly. So I'll put them on each side of the driveway, sometimes across the street. So I'm adjusting my lifestyle if I don't like it. I have what I think would be a possible solution. You probably, I don't know about. I have a little handicap sign, but I park, and my family park their vehicles in the garage every day out on the street. Whenever there's a visitor at my home, they have to park in the driveway as well because there are no spaces on the street. His vehicles consume everything. So in the photographs, you see the vehicles in the driveway, you see 2 parked across the street of his home, and he reserves them for family members, friends, and his extra cars. And so I think I pointed that out on the photograph. I have park because of handicap in the city of Romulus. I don't recall ever seeing during our park handicap. If that would help my situation, I would sure like to have one of those signs. Or I would like to have a sign, just fine, no parking for 2 days, Thursday and Friday. That's the only time I put the trash out, or for waste managers to pick them up. So, if they decide to do it, and if it's of a great expense, I'll pay for it. Okay, I'll pay for any type of sign, handicap sign, or a no parking sign on Thursday between the hours or whatever, whatever. And like I said, I'll pay for a professionally done sign to be mounted in front of my house just for 2 days, so I can put my garbage out. That's all I have to do.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. The next request, a written request, is from Westland Mayor Bill Wild.
Well, good evening, City Council, Mayor Burkroff, and the other elected officials that are here tonight. I stand before you tonight in the mayor of the city of Westland, and I've had the opportunity to work with many of you over the last 12 years as my time as mayor, and 6 on City Council and a couple years on the Planning Commission, so over the last 20 years. Working with Romulus on regional issues at the Conference of Western Wayne at SIMCOG, and Michigan Municipal League, and the list goes on and on. So the reason I'm here tonight to stand before you is I'm a candidate for the 13th Congressional District. The election is right around the corner. It's August 7th, and I'm here tonight to declare myself as a candidate and ask for your support and your resident support. I can tell you that of all the candidates that are in the race, I think that I bring the most experience with the issues that at least that you folks are dealing with, and your city councils look and feel a lot like our city council meetings, and I see you guys are working together to try to solve some of the issues that are facing your community and trying to move your communities forward in an extremely difficult time. What I can offer to you is, if I was your representative in Washington, is I could offer you a partnership with somebody that understood some of the issues that you're facing. I'm very bullish about the city of Romulus. I think that you guys really have a great potential, and I would like to help you reach it. I can tell you that with your proximity to the airport, that creates some opportunities, but also presents itself some challenges for your communities. I know that you've been trying to work your way through those. I know you have a lot of unique issues in Romulus that do need federal help, and one of those major issues is the issue that you're dealing with CSX Railroad. And I know that that's something that's not going to be solved locally. It's going to take strong partnership and leadership at the federal level to help you solve that problem. So that's one of the issues that I would pledge to you that I would work with your community to address. But beyond that, I know that a lot of the issues facing Romulus are very similar to Westland, that we don't have the money locally to solve, and we're not getting the money from Lansing, and I know you guys aren't either. So, but long-term infrastructure issues that are facing all of our communities. I know the roads in Romulus are just like the roads in Westland and throughout the 13th Congressional District. They're aging. The water and sewers infrastructure underneath is aging as well. There are federal dollars as part of the new federal $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. That as your representative, I'll make sure that we bring those dollars back to the 13th, and I'll do everything I can to bring those dollars back to Romulus as well. There's other issues that are facing all of us. You know, workforce development is a big issue all throughout the district. We, unfortunately, when you look at the median income of the residents that live in the district, we're the second lowest in the country, outside of just an area around the Bronx. But there's a lot of opportunity in our district as well, and we talked about the airport. When you look in Detroit, with all the investment happening in Midtown, the 3 stadiums, obviously the casinos, the health systems, the community colleges, there's opportunity everywhere around us. And with Ford Motor Company making their reinvestment in the city of Detroit, there's a lot of opportunity for our children and for our adults as well. So workforce development, I think, is how we bridge that gap between the people that live in the district and the opportunities in the district. That's an area that I'll be working hard every day to bring back resources for the community, for the district, and also for the city of Romulus. And then the last issue is that, and I know it's an issue that's facing Romulus, it's facing Westland, It's facing every city across the country, and that's the opioid addiction and the cost and the effect it's having on the local level with public safety. So that's another issue that there are dollars available at the federal level. I'll be working hard to bring those back to the district. And the last two pieces at the federal level that I think that would be very helpful for Romulus is, I understand right now you guys, the city council has recently decided to place a public safety millage on your upcoming November election. There are dollars available in Washington to help with public safety. There are COPS grants, there are SAFER grants, and one of the issues that I think it takes one of us in Washington is to try to rewrite some of those so that we can actually, there's communities now that are being awarded these COPS grants and firefighter SAFER grants, and they don't even have the money to accept them. So we need to work together to find a way that we can make those more palatable so that we can put those to use, and that's something that I'll pledge to you that I'll do. So my campaign is, if you'd like to find out where we're at on any of the other issues, you can check out BillWildForCongress.com. You can follow us on Facebook, and I'll certainly make myself available after the meeting as well. So once again, thank you for the opportunity tonight, and putting my mayor hat back on, I just want to applaud all of you for the work that you're doing. It's not easy work. I know all of us, it takes time away from our families, and we also take a lot of heat and stuff, but you guys are all working together, and you are moving your community forward, and I can tell you that being on the outside looking in, you can definitely see the progress in Romulus, so keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next written request is from Rashida Tlaib. Did I pronounce it correct? Okay.
Actually, I'm here as an attorney for the Sugar Law Center. My name is Rashida Tlaib. I'm, I just want to respect the decorum, don't want to be campaigning up here, but I am an attorney with the Sugar Law Center for Economic and Social Justice. We're a national interest group, a nonprofit, and Mayor, as you probably know, we filed the Headley Amendment lawsuit, and it's going extremely well. And so I wanted to give you all an update, but also ask if Romulus would be interested in being a supportive plaintiff on it and file an amicus brief with us. But this is a case, for many of you know, the decrease in funding from the state. Basically, the Michigan Constitution says there's a certain level because of the Headley Amendment that we're supposed to get our local communities a certain amount. And you know from different kinds of ways that they've been calculating it, they've actually been including payments to charter schools, county road commissions, and truck line road funds as part of the calculation that's coming to us. And what we're saying in the lawsuit is that they have to remove that part of the calculation because we don't get the direct money for our city services. And including that in the formula is over-calculation of what we get. And so we have been very, very lucky that we have, both sides were able to present, and it's currently at the Court of Appeals, and I'd be more than happy to speak to your city attorney about this. Usually Headley cases have been very difficult to win, but we've actually been very, very positive developments. We received a number of motions on our side was in our favor. The state has been trying to obviously get this dismissed, but we have been very, very successful. The Michigan Municipal League has now filed an amicus brief in support of the lawsuit. Cities in Downriver include Southgate, some other communities in Oakland County, Harper Woods, Grosse Pointe Shores, a number of other Macomb counties, communities, as well as New Baltimore, East Point, all have become plaintiffs with us. This is an important lawsuit because this could change the whole dynamic of how the state funds. No matter what I'm going to be able to do on the federal level, we got to make sure that the money comes to the local level. And the way they're miscalculating, the way the formula is coming down, we call it engaging in an illegal shift. When we engage that illegal shift, it's not fair to say that's money that's coming to the city. It's below 50%, it's 48%, it's way below what the Michigan Constitution requires. And so I'm asking all of you in City Council and the mayor to please consider supporting this lawsuit. It's open to all the cities and folks to be included. We can even bring forward the documentation obviously showing the huge decline to city services because of that. I mean, you're hearing all the different dilemmas here about increasing water rates. We know that that shift in overcalculation has been a significant loss in billions of dollars for our local municipalities across the state. And so again, my name is Rashida Tlaib. I'm an attorney with the Sugar Law Center for Economic and Social Justice. I would welcome any of you to please reach out to me. I would love to work with you all in partnership to get this resolved. And you know, I'm one of those people that, as a former state representative, I've done things with community organizations to organize around issues, but I've also done it through the courts. And so if it's the deep injection well, which, trust me, if there's anybody that can take that issue on, it's me. I'm a big environmental justice advocate. I will get stuff tested on our own independently. I won't rely on the state or anybody else or even the federal government to do it for us. There's a number of incredible organizations with great credibility that can vouch for us about the public health impacts and the environmental impacts. So I ask you all to please, you know, reach out to me if you ever have any concerns or issues, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
The next written request is John Conyers III.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. As Ms. Bragg said, I'm John Conyers III. I am a candidate for the 13th Congressional District. I don't know if am I allowed to say that here? It's my first time speaking it. So I'm a candidate for the 13th Congressional District. I am running nonpartisan. Since I will not be, I'm not going to be a part of the primary. I'm running nonpartisan, so I will be available for the November 6th election. I'm running for access to income, access to education, and mental health advocacy. Those three things are very, very important, especially, as Mr. Wild said, because of the opioid addictions that our citizens are facing right now. You know, mental health is a component of that, and so I believe everyone has a right to a livable wage, $15 an hour, but that it should ultimately be pegged to inflation. Access to education. I'm sure you all may have heard of my mother, Monica Conyers, and as a felon, when she went to prison, my family could no longer afford to send me to school, and so I believe that either we need to overhaul our education system for K through 12, or we need to subsidize college. No one should have to go hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt to be able to get an education. And then, as I said, mental health. Suicide rates in this country have risen 30% since 2015. And so I would like to go to Washington and advocate on our behalf for some of those issues. So I'll be here afterward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The next request is from Josh Colton.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Josh Colton. I'm an attorney with the Camoran Law PLC, and I'm here standing on behalf of my client, Lee Barthel, who's seated behind me, who's going to speak shortly. And I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act. I know that this has been a hot topic, and there's probably already been a significant amount of discussion amongst you, but I feel that by pointing out a few of the specific key components that we believe are the reasons why it should be allowed and why it would be so beneficial to the community, I feel that these are things that should be brought to light, and if nothing else, will provide some education. There are effectively three main components that I would like to address with you today. The three of them address three demographics within the community that are often not spoken for enough and often need the most to be spoken for. This is based on a census that I pulled on the city of Romulus, which is a population of 23,000 approximately, based on what I pulled. And the three demographics that I focused on were the children, 17 and under, the 65 and up population, and the veteran population. First, I'd like to talk a little bit about the impact of the Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Program on minors. As I'm sure you've heard, there's always a concern with access to potentially harmful, if used the wrong way, substances such as medical marijuana to our children. And there's been a lot of language and people speaking to the effect that there's major concern that this will increase the access, when in fact, in reviewing and doing research, I was able to determine that through federal surveys and studies that have been performed, there's actually been a 20-year low on medical marijuana use or marijuana in general amongst kids. The researchers who performed this believe that it was significantly tied in with the large increase in regulatory oversight and compliance required by thorough state involvement. Through Lee Barthel and Metroplex Solutions, they've worked beyond and above the state's call for regulatory compliance. Strict security measures and practice protocols will both prevent minors from having any access to the facility, as well as providing informational campaigns to assist and deter children from wanting to participate. The second group that I would like to focus on is the 65 years and older population, which makes up approximately 11.3% of Romulus's population. This has been shown through multiple national studies to be the fastest growing user of medical marijuana, as it's been shown to be more and more medically beneficial as a form of treatment for all sorts of different debilitating conditions. With me today, I've brought an individual who I believe can attest to that even more so. His name is Mr. El Tahoudi, and he's going to speak a little bit with you after me about his experiences with medical marijuana and how that's impacted and worked alongside with his spirituality and his experience in working with the church. Metroplex Solutions additionally has, taken a very strong focus on working with the older population, as they feel that this is the group of individuals they can most appropriately serve. One of the big issues that we see within medical marijuana is that doctors can't actually write prescriptions. And so the individual ultimately has to go out of their way to try to educate themselves and figure out how to find the right kind of medicine and how much to take and what type. And by having high quality facilities in the city, like Metroplex, there's the opportunity to create a higher standard to impose on your system. And what this also will do is, as recreational potentially is set to pass this November, it allows you an opportunity to vet your own system and create something that's going to be more effective and more efficient for what you're looking for. The last of the three groups that I wanted to address with you briefly, and I appreciate your attention, is 5.8% of the population, and that is the military veterans. Two of the most common medical conditions of military veterans are chronic pain and PTSD. Chronic pain is among the approximately 20 million veterans, affecting 50% of them. Additionally, PTSD affects approximately a third of those veterans. As has been spoken about by a couple individuals prior to me, it doesn't even have to be restated, the seriousness of the opioid epidemic that we're currently facing. Medical marijuana has been shown to have a significant effect, but I thought it would be more appropriate to bring forward someone today from a service organization who could attest to this fact even more. I've brought with me Matt Hatala, a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, to speak more with you on these issues in just a moment. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the ongoing discussion, and I look forward to continuing this further.
Thank you.
Before we call up the next resident that has requested to speak, I just want to remind everyone that for public comment, it's 3 minutes, and we have several people that have requested to speak, and just for the sake and respect of time, we still have other portions of the agenda to go through. So if everyone could please adhere to the rule, the 3-minute rule, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. The next person, Mr. Chair, is a Lee Barthel. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Hello. Again, it comes up. Had I been able to talk to my parents before I was born, I would have spelled the name B-A-R-T-E-L, Bartel. Can't do anything with that. Put the H in it, and it gets more difficult. Anyway, thank you for letting me to talk to you. Our attorney has already addressed you. Medical marijuana is an interesting subject, but a little background about us. We've been on Metroplex as a heating and cooling company for 8 years. We're just a little bit south of Ecorse on kind of a bumpy road, and we're just kind of glad that it's paved, but it does need some help. So a little more money in the coffers would probably be a good thing. Ernie Justice is one of the residents, and he's on our team, and I think some of you know who he is, and he's here. And he is encouraging us to hire locally. He said there are a lot of good people in town that he knows, and that's where we should be doing our hiring, and I agree, that is a good idea. Our goal is to be sort of the poster child of this industry. I've had a variety of businesses. I'm interested in this one because of what it can do for people that need this. Also, an interesting thing is the state has set it up so that it is a good source of revenue for the state and for the city. So I think it's all mixed up as to how that is going to happen. It hasn't been resolved yet, but pretty soon they will come up with an answer, and whatever answer they come up with, it has to include the city. So hopefully you will approve the idea of having dispensaries in your city, in our city, and that will be good. And I'd say we're easy to find. We're just off Metro. Oh, that is a new paved road. They just about finished it today. So that's kind of how we go across town. So, but anytime you want to visit to see what we're doing, it's 6855 Metroplex. Glad to see you. Thanks.
Thank you.
The next request, and I'm going to try not to mess this up. This is Minister Tahutiel. Is that correct? All right.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Minister Tahutiel, and as a surviving cancer patient, I had to deal with the ups and downs of chemotherapy and the pharmaceutical medicines that I took to relieve me of what I was going through at times did not agree with me. And it's great what the American Medical Association has accomplished for us in reference to treatment, but also we must remember that the Creator himself has made provisions for us. And I did not fully comprehend my choices until I began to do my research. I talked to what's called bud tenders at the dispensary. They were able to show me if I was depleted of energy from the chemo treatment, that a sativa could be used to energize my body. That is a type of medical marijuana. Also, when I suffered from pain and I needed calmness, a indica was suggested. And those things did work very well with me. Now, being a minister, I had to make a moral choice in the use of medical marijuana and the various products. So in my spiritual research, I found that when the Heavenly Father created us, He knew the road we would travel. So He made provisions for our journey. And I refer to Genesis 9:3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb I have given you all things. Ezekiel 47:12. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side, on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. These spiritual scriptures out of the King James Bible, it gave me courage to pursue the use of holistic medicines that our Heavenly Father, the Lord himself, created for our benefit. So it assisted me in my moral decision. There are oils as well as the flower. There are edibles that I know children use for their epilepsy. The edibles are made like brownies and candy, which makes it digestible for the children, appetizing for children. Even medicines are made for dogs as well. So all that I have to say is take what the Lord has provided for us and use it wisely. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next written request is from Matt Hatala.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Talla. I'm a former infantry Marine with deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan, now turned entrepreneur, trying to create employment opportunities for Michigan veterans. I spent roughly 6 years traveling back and forth between the military and government contracting, excuse me, before receiving my firefighter 1, 2, and hazmat certifications and working with several nonprofits in the veteran communities across different states. In 2014, this led me to win a national award for my work with those nonprofits. And the only reason I bring that up is because I want you to understand that I have a deep love and understanding for the veteran community, which is the reason I come before you tonight and hoping to help you see the benefits of adopting a marijuana ordinance. I've watched many men I've served with go down two paths after leaving the military. One being pills, usually accompanied by alcohol, the other being medical cannabis use. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that the veterans that I know that go down the road of medical cannabis use have a substantially greater quality of life than those that choose to use pills. Excuse me. It is also no secret that the veteran community has a problem with prescription medication and opioids, so I ask you to please look past any notions that you have previously on medical cannabis and see the medical benefits that it's having for men and women who have served this country. Beyond the medical benefits, it can also have a giant impact on creating jobs in the security field for able-bodied, hardworking veterans that are still looking to serve the communities with honor and dignity. Lee Barthel, Metroplex Solutions, is one of those organizations that has truly shown interest in working with veterans such as myself. For these reasons, I would ask you to consider participating in the Medical Marijuana Facility Licensing Act so the community can give its veterans an option to safer medication and others a chance at a job in an industry that allows them to use the skills acquired from years of honorable service. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next request is Charter Commission Chair Alexandria Taylor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Alexandria Taylor. I live at 11210 Gabriel Street. I am up here tonight as a mother. I'm concerned about our schools. Although this is City Council, we are one community. This year marks 20 years since I graduated from high school. I started off at Barth Elementary, went to the middle school, and graduated from Romulus High, then left to go to Michigan State. When I graduated from college, I came back here and built my first home and raised my children here. I am very concerned about what is going on with our schools and our teachers. I've been picketing with our teachers. They are feeling disgruntled, and I'm worried that the same quality of education that I had growing up, that my children won't have it. Mayor, tonight you said education is life, and it really is life, but how can we breathe life into education if our educators are feeling, if they feel left out, if they feel that no one hears their voice, if they feel unappreciated? When I was in first grade, my teacher was Miss Richard. She was in my life over the years. She came to my baby shower when I was pregnant with my son. My bus driver, Miss Klein, lived around the corner. All of our educators were in the community. I don't think that I would be in the position that I'm in today without our educators. And so even though this is council, we have the community here, we have those listening, and I'm really urging everyone to support our schools, but more importantly, to support our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next written request is from Yada Phillips, or Yada, or Did I get it right the first time? Okay, all right, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
So my request is real simple. When we figure out everything that's going on with the millage, which I kind of wish we had a little information for me today, I planned on coming to the fireworks with flyers to talk about the millage for our public safety and fire department. I can't do it with no information. However, I'm willing to do it on my days off, knock on doors, walk in neighborhoods with a team of people so that we can talk about this. Because just sitting in here tonight, listening to it, a lot of things that are being asked to come to the city of Romulus, it's going to require public safety, and it's going to require a lot of public safety. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was just here last Monday, and I'd be darned if I didn't have to call public safety because of an incident that was going on within my own home. So it's a big concern of mine, especially with a lot of requests that's being asked. So I'm just asking that we get that information to me. I did give out, I think the mayor, I think someone on the council has my information. I just want to be able to get some type of information. I'll pay for printing. I don't care about that. It's simple. I'll pay for printing. And Mr. Wild, I'm happy to see you here. I attend a lot of functions inside of Westland. And if we're not attending some of these things that's happening in Westland, you'll be pretty amazed at some of the things that they do have going on in Westland. And one of the things that I have attended is dealing with their police force. Their fundraiser for their police force is magnificent. And I've been going for the last year. So I'm really looking forward to even seeing our police force do the same thing, because we have the same ability to do what they're doing over in Westland. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have 2 more written requests. Now I think I'm gonna mess this up, but I'm gonna try Michael Matyak. Did I?
Council. My name is Michael Matuzik. I'm a property owner in the city of Westland. I bought one of the original houses in the common subdivision back in 2000. I've been proud to be a resident here, but I have a problem now that we weren't apprised of a situation that is happening in Van Buren, Canton with waste management. I read the paper here, the Community Connection. I've read the old version, and something that's been going on for 6 to 7 months and already approved. It's going to affect everybody's way of living. It's going to affect air quality. It's going to affect property value. Out of those 200 houses in the 3 subdivisions, we pay a high amount of taxes. But we weren't apprised of the fact that Waste Management, purchasing the golf course, is bringing it to E-Course Road, their dump site as I call it. Air quality is going to change, and just the way of living for everybody is going to change. And I just really think that council or somebody should have apprised us. 1,400 supposed cards went out by Waste Management announcing a meeting, and 17 people went to it. I find that a little bit unbelievable. And I just wanted to just voice my concern over that and let you know that something underhanded is going on, and Mr. Rizzo's already in jail. Thank you.
Thank you.
The last written request, Jennifer. Sorry? Ruel. I'm sorry, couldn't read the writing there, Ruel. Miss Ruel, if you could please come to the podium.
Thank you. Yes, Jennifer Ruel, 38658 Nottingham Drive. I've been a resident for 15 years. My question is, what's holding this city up from developing? And the reason I ask that question is because we have $4 stores. We're sitting up here listening about a water increase, about a medical marijuana facility. We have an international airport. We have all this land, but yet we travel to Belleville and or Van Buren Township and surrounding cities to go grocery shopping. If you go to Atlanta, Nashville, Orlando, when you leave a major airport like that, what's the first thing that you see? A strip mall, a grocery store, a CVS, a Walgreens? We have none of that. I don't understand why we don't have any new development in this city. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have a Jimmy John's and a Taco Bell. Those are recent developments. But we don't have a major grocery store. We don't have a CVS, a Walgreens. What is our holdup with development in the city?
That'll be answered on a unfinished business.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, that was the last written request.
Okay. Is there any comments from the audience? Gabrielle?
Hi, Mayor. My name is Gabrielle Hollingsworth. I'm coming up because I was invited by Mrs. Talley. I had a house fire in Romulus in West Village Estates. This happened May 19th. I'm just coming here today basically to ask if anyone has any resources, just any information, just so I can rebuild. I'm basically starting over. I'm literally starting over from scratch. It's just my husband and I, my 2 children, and everything and anything is welcome. I'm basically just looking for resources, discounts if you know anyone, if you know, someone who knows a furniture store, discounts, anything. I'm just asking for a helping hand.
Okay.
We need, I'm sorry, just for the record, Mr. Chair, could you state your last name and your address, please?
Yes. Hollingsworth, 38743 Cherokee Drive, Romulus, Michigan, 48174.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Mayor, Council, Clerk, and Treasurer. I'm Alex Garza. I'm actually the Mayor Pro Tem in the City of Taylor and also the Council President in the City of Taylor. And I just wanted to come by just to say hello and introduce myself. But also, one of the things that I've noticed going door to door in the City of Romulus is that there is a need for free legal services that I've heard a lot at the doors as I've been going neighborhood to neighborhood. And one of the things that I've done in my career has been working for Representative Stephanie Chang in her district office, providing direct services to the residents in the 6th House District. And one of the services that we've worked with over the years is LADA, which is the Legal Aid Defenders Association. So they're definitely a great resource for legal services for the residents. We have them in Taylor, and definitely Romulus can utilize them as well. For a wide variety of issues. They just don't do traffic tickets, so you can use them for different things, child support issues, any type of legal issues that you're having. Their number, actually, just so you can jot this down, is 313-967-5555, and you can actually access them, and they can definitely help out in various legal issues within the community. So just wanted to put that out there for the residents to know, and thank you guys for having me tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other from the audience? Ms. Talley.
Good evening, council, mayor, community, everybody. Amen. Being a minister of the gospel myself, I just have to leave my voice and my thought and opinion. I heard everything was said because I'm definitely against the marijuana store coming into this place, this city. So I just want to leave my voice. I'm not trying to whatever. I know what you understand. I might not understand your pain and all that, but I do understand this because of the realities of sin. That's why we got all this stuff going on in the first place. Man messed up everything, and he always do, because of sin. Even though you have legitimate things that you're saying and commenting about the good, the land and all that, yes, that's what God's intention was in the first place. But because of man, and his decision-making and all this. He tends to be selfish and forget about everybody else, and especially our children. Because I was looking at a thing they presented on the news, and it was really something, because here they had all these decorated cupcakes and all this kind of wonderful stuff that children love, and I love. And I was saying, you know what, that is really deceptive. Children will be drawn to things like that, and they do it now anyway. Put them in cookies and everything. So what I'm saying, even though our intentions might be for the good, the evil will always come in. And sometimes it'll come in through our children. And that's what we best to be concerned about. I'm not dismissing anybody's pain, and I'm quite sure it might work for you and many others, but there are other avenues. But the bottom line, we must stay with the realities of sin. Sin is sin, and it will infiltrate a city. I don't care what our intentions are or how well-meaning we are. It always does, and it always has, and it always will. So that's why we got to be very prayerful, and I will be, about this. But personally, I'm looking at the overall picture. Even when we let alcohol, all that stuff come in, and then next thing, gambling. What did we get? We got broken homes, broken everything. Schools even. The schools are broken too. Everything broken because of this not dealing with the realities of sin. And the only reason I'm saying this, because I'm Reverend Rita Talley, I am a minister of the gospel as well. So I just wanted to leave my voice and my comment. So it's still up to the people to choose. Because one thing God doesn't do, he don't make you do nothing. He lets you choose life or death. So I pray you be prayerful about this decision, because it will affect us all, just like sin did in the beginning. We all suffering all this pain and sickness, disease, and everything is because of sin. Amen.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Yes. Back,
White House, 35615 Wick. Some of you know me, some of you wished you hadn't known me. Mr. Burkhoff. I only have one question. Why are we allowing these people to come in here and politic and campaign at our city council? And Mr. Burkhoff, we should let our locals do it. And I remember days whenever you wouldn't allow people to do it. I'm not against anybody here. I just don't like it used in our city council. And if we're going to allow these people, allow the locals to come up here also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience?
She didn't think she could finish.
Yes. Okay.
This is a follow-up to Mike, what Mike talked about earlier about the expansion of the Woodland Meadows. I was one of the people that attended the almost 3-hour meeting. My question is, there were 1,400 mailers that went out, as Mike stated. It went out to Wayne, Canton, Romulus, and Van Buren. No officials from Wayne, Canton, or Romulus attended the meeting. Over 200 homes in Romulus are going to be impacted. The Commons 1 and Commons 2, that's 190 homes right there. And then you have the people on Hannon Road. So those are the 200 homes right there that are going to be impacted. 2 of the gentlemen on Hannon Road spoke. They've already tried to sell their homes. The real estate agents told them the reason that they weren't able to sell their home was because of the Woodland Meadows. And in the next 5 years, that project's going to expand. So basically what's going to happen is our property values are going to drop. My question is, the meeting was on Wednesday. I came down here to City Hall on Monday, talked to Tim Keys, the Economic Development Director. He made a copy of the card. He wasn't present at the meeting. My question is, for something as big as that, there were a lot of officials in the room. There was Waste Management. There was somebody from Wayne County DPS. I'm wondering why the residents of Romulus weren't supported by any official from anybody at the office here, City Hall. Did anybody get a postcard?
No,
Nobody knew about it.
no.
Just Tim Keys.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So that's what we're going with. The card that I gave to somebody on Monday and nobody showed up to support the residents. So you take our tax dollars, but we don't get any support from anybody when something big like that is going to have an impact on over 200 homes. And then our resale value is going to go down. And then like Mike said, we're going to get the pollution, air pollution. You're going to get birds. You're going to get the bags flying around that stick to the trees. I mean, it's going to have a direct impact on us. We're a half a mile from there. It's very maddening to people when you don't get support. You want to take our money, but you don't want to support us.
We're not aware of it, you can't support it.
Pardon me?
I said if we're not aware that there was a meeting, then we can't show up for it.
We're actually on unfinished business.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes. Good evening.
My name is Linda Siriani. I live in the Common Subdivision, and I was with Jennifer at the meeting last week in Van Buren Township. They told us in the meeting that the residents of the Common Subdivision 1 and 2 would be the greatest, most impacted area for this Woodlands expansion. There's the largest concentration of people in our subdivision that will be impacted by this expansion. This didn't just happen overnight, but it's a done deal now. We have nothing to say about it. Romulus wasn't informed. I really find that very disappointing. So like Jennifer said, our taxes are going to go up, our water rates are going to go up, everything's going to go up, and the values of our homes are going to go down. And nobody can help us or give us any answers about this. And it's just very discouraging.
Can I ask you, who did you give the information to distribute it to the Romulus residents or the elected officials?
Jennifer gave it to... So out of our subdivision, I don't know how many people got the cards. There were 3 of us from Commons at that meeting, but no one from Romulus. No city official, no representation of any kind.
Well, I sympathize with you, but we can't respond to a situation or a meeting if we wasn't told about it.
Okay,
I live
but
right down the street on Ecorse Road. I would have loved to came.
The landfill expansion hasn't just happened overnight.
But we have to get the information to know what's going on. I said that to the mayor earlier, that we need to start getting information so we can be aware of what's going on in our city.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience?
Did you know it was expanding?
No more comments from the audience. The clerk will close that part out.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Finished business. Mr. Mayor?
Chairman, I'll try to hit on a couple and try to get back to you on as many as we can. We had a lot of speakers tonight, so between my staff and myself. The parking issue in Gateway, we'll check out and get back on that issue. We'd like to get some more info on the Headley lawsuit and how that ties in. We've talked about that in our budget process. There is as council knows, there's a fire police millage that's going to be on the November ballot. We have to be careful how we use government dollars and resources, so there will be some fact type sheets that'll be out. For example, the schools have some fact information out in the lobby. We can't get into any kind of literature using any government dollars for advocating for any kind of vote. That's where the line is drawn. So as we develop talking points and facts that residents want to know the impact to them and what it'll mean to them, contact our office, let us know. We'll be happy to make sure we get that information out to them. But that was just approved, as you know, by City Council. There's the issue on that, my understanding, and I haven't seen this card that was spoken about for, I know for years, I'm aware that the golf course was owned by that landfill. I had one call from a resident after this alleged meeting. I haven't seen this postcard that was referred to, but we'll try to check into it and see what's going on. I received one phone call from a resident on Hannon Road after the meeting, so that's all I can speak to until we get more information. But I thought it was an MDEQ forum that they were notifying people, but I'll get more details on that. A couple others, the development piece. Here's how development works, and basically, I'm not sure if you were involved in the vision process who went through it, but council's well aware of it, and a lot of residents and businesses and schools and churches were. The number one thing our residents said they want is economic growth. They wanted jobs. So that's what we've worked hard to do. No surprise, that's why you hear things in press releases about the Amazons and the Mopars and some of those other development. As we get jobs, retail development, their demographics they look at, or we talk about rooftops, drawing people in. We've heard, I can tell you personally, since I've been in office, in this office, we had three shots at an outlet mall, as you recall. That's what we heard from them. They couldn't fill tenants, weren't enough rooftops to support that. I believe, and it's a fact, that as we get more economic development, those are more jobs. Those are potential, not just for Romulus, but for our surrounding partners as well, too. We are blessed that we still have undeveloped land in industrial, commercial, and residential, so we've got a great opportunity to develop that. Does that mean all those jobs are going to be in Romulus, or they're all going to live here? No, some will. And guess what? That also helps the schools, because the school student count is down. So the more we can be one community and support that, I believe we'll see more of those opportunities. It's based on zoning, though, and I know one thing that I hear quite often is, you know, we've got another dollar store. Well, the way zoning works is zoning is based on what's allowable. So if someone comes to our planning department and comes to planning commission, and you know this, city council, and they meet the requirements for what that zoning is, they're allowed to put it there if they meet all the requirements. So if they feel there's a market for that, we can't deny them, because we may have a preference of a different business. So they get a fair process as well. But I will tell you that we're seeing a lot in economic development. You approved tonight the contract for planning. We have Carol Mays, who is our planner. Very busy. We're busy in planning. That contract that you approved, that we've utilized since 2002, is to back that up. If Carol can't keep up, or we need extra help to do just that. So that's a good problem, is the way I see it. We have this opportunity with undeveloped land to develop. Let's do it right. That's what I ask. So as the developments come to planning commission, as they come to council, let's make sure that we've got a good chance to develop it and be proud of it, and that's what we're going to bring to you. The last comment on the politics under discussion, that's really the chair's discretion and council's on who wants to come up and say they're a candidate or they're doing business. That's really their 3-minute. We had a lot of them tonight, as the clerk said, so I think there was a lot of latitude given there, but that's really not the mayor's responsibility as much as the rules that are established and the call of council. So appreciate those comments, and we'll try to get back to council on the action items that were brought up tonight. Thank you.
Is there any more unfinished business?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, can I make
Yeah.
a comment on unfinished business?
Sure.
Couple of quick things. First of all, I'm a little offended by the resident, the tone, because I know all these people up here on this dais, there's a lot going on in this city, and they support a lot of different things in this city. And I'm sure if any one of these people up here was aware of it, there would have been representation there. I just want to say that, first of all. They support a lot of things in this city. And if it had been known, it would have been supported. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And then the second thing I want to talk, Ms. Gabrielle, thank you so much for coming up. It takes a lot to come up in front of a group and air your things and your problems. So I just want to thank you for coming up, sharing that with the council. And I don't know if there's anything we can do to make if it's a contact, if there's resources that can be provided for her. How do we get that information to her? How do we
I believe we got her information while the meeting was going on, so we're going to try to be a go-between and let you know how we can play in and try to help. And again, thank you for coming forward.
Thanks so much. Well, I know Julie be on top of it, and she got your information. We good to go. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Talley.
Up through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb?
I don't feel that we as a council should have gotten offended because these are taxpaying residents who just ask a question, why were we not there? They weren't accusing us of ignoring the fact. But when we cannot speak back to the public when they come up here, then yeah, it does seem as though we may be under attack or they may feel that they're under attack. So we're going to have to go back to the way that it was of when our residents come up, our tax-paying residents come to that podium and ask us, the legislative body, a question. We should be able to communicate with that resident right on the spot, not wait 15 or 20 minutes later. So I don't know when this was changed. It wasn't changed when I was on council previously, but our residents have the right to come at that podium and question us as the people they voted into office so that we can give them the proper information. If we don't have it, then we have the right as a legislative body to call on our mayor and ask him or his deputy mayor or one of the department heads. That's why we are here. We're not here to be deaf mutes. We are here to answer your questions. So I will answer your question for the residents in the Commons. We did not receive any information on what you were speaking of in regards to waste management, woodlands, and all those other things that you brought up. And I appreciate you coming and informing us because we had no idea, but I'm not offended that you came. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Williams.
And just to sum that up, first and foremost, as we move forward, I, as an elected official of this city of Romulus, would want to be informed of pertinent information in all city business so that I can be able to perform the responsibilities placed before me in an effective and an efficient way. And I agree with Ms. Webb. If we had have known, and I'm not offended by you coming up because I would be angry too. Many times, many years, I spent so many years on that side that you stand on or sit on, doing the same thing. So we have to know, and I asked the mayor tonight to make sure moving forward that the council is informed as we should be on whatever is happening in the city. I take offense, as Ms. Webb said, residents come up and we can't answer them. We are the legislative body. We are supposed to be answering them. Whenever it changed, it needs to change back. When we go to department heads and ask them questions, we should not be told that we have to go through your office, Mayor, because you are like the sheriff. You enforce the law. We write the rules and we set the laws. And I refuse to continually sit up here and sit silent into communication, new business, or old business because we can't speak. I refuse to do that. So the rest of the council, if they choose to, moving forward, not to answer the residents, that's their choice. But I refuse to do it moving forward.
Yes, Mayor, you have something?
Two things. On the rules of the meeting, those are set by council, not me. I will address the department heads. Department heads work for me. So for you to bring a person up here, it goes through the chair to me. I may answer that question. I may have other information I want to provide. It's at my discretion. I'll bring up whom is necessary to address that. Or if it's not available, we'll make a time to sit down with council or residents and share all that information. So just want to clarify those 2 points.
Mayor, Chair, if I may say.
Go ahead.
I don't believe, I think it was a misunderstanding. It wasn't that we want to bring up your department heads, Mayor. I think when we make a call to a department to get some information, we have to go through your office in order to get it. I think that's what
Okay.
she was saying.
Sure, I can speak to that. All we're trying to do with information through my office is make sure everybody gets the same information. I spent 16 years on council. You want to make sure that we don't give one piece of information to a council person that the others are not getting. So we're just trying to be fair and make sure we get you to the right person to get the information as soon as possible and disseminate it. And it might be a phone call, it may be a document. Call us. We're not trying to hinder anything. We're trying to help you, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
John?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
Ms. Abdu, she got it, didn't you?
Okay, concerning the business where you don't want us speaking back to the people in the public, that was not anything that we decided as a city council. And I know for a fact there's a majority of us would like to answer flat out when people come up instead of waiting to go through it. So I think we've made that issue, I think it's a moot issue. We will answer. And I apologize for not knowing. I wish I had known about, because I definitely would have been there as an activist. I live on the not too far from you, but still it's going to affect me too. And I apologize for not knowing, and hopefully if there is a development in the future that's happening around or on the borders of our city, I think that we need to make sure that we're all involved so that we can become involved and become active. Like the airport always notifies us when they have something going on. If there's a major development like that affecting in our city or on our borders, we really need to know. Somehow, some way. Sounds good. But your office wasn't notified either, huh?
I didn't get that postcard
I'm
either,
sorry.
so.
So we are sorry that we did not. Maybe that was intentional on their part. I don't know.
Ms. Talley, Ms. Talley. Okay, Ms. Williams, go ahead.
And to the young man that came up, I would just like to say we do have several attorneys, and one sits out there in the audience that does a lot of work, goes to court with individuals at no charge, those that are low income and can't afford it. Her name is Alexandria Taylor. Her telephone number, if anybody wants to talk to her, would be 313-999-1732. So we do have services in our city for the young man that said that we can come over to Taylor. Romulus have a lot to offer. We just have to advertise it. Thank you.
Ms. Talley.
And just to address my colleague about being offended, yes, I was offended. And only in the fact that I'm passionate about my city, very passionate about my city, just as everybody else is. And when I say offended, we try to support in everything that we need to do as far as our city is concerned. And so I don't know, again, it wasn't intended because, like I said, when there's things that's happening in this city, we are informed. And the only reason why I said that because of your body language, and so forgive me if I took your body language wrong, because we're not up here to lie. We're up here to do what we need to do for the city of Romulus, and very passionate about the city of Romulus, each in our own ways, but we're all very passionate about the city of Romulus. So that's what I meant when I said that. So I don't mean to offend you, but I don't want to be offended as well. We're very passionate about this. I know I'm very passionate about the city of Romulus. Thank you.
Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication. Mr. Chair.
Ms. Talley.
I'd just like to make an announcement that we are having a ribbon cutting and grand opening for the City Event Center on Ecourse Road tomorrow, Tuesday, June 26th. There's a ribbon cutting from 1:30 to 2:30. It's the old credit union that's on Ecourse Road that's been converted to a banquet hall. It would be great to get out there and support that. They're going to have grand opening from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. It would be great to go out and show our support for this development in our city. The address is 37451 Ecourse Road, runs across from the, is that the GM? Over there, Ecourse. So if anybody would like to go out there to support that event, it's again tomorrow, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., 37451 Ecourse Road for this new development, this development here in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talley. Ms. Bragg.
Under communication, just want to announce to everyone, to all of our residents, our AV ballots will start going out beginning Wednesday, this Wednesday, start the mailing process. So if you have questions, just give the clerk's office a call. Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
Yes, I just wanted to address something that Reverend Talley said to, or just made her comment. I just really, truly don't believe, not that, you know, I'm not trying to advocate either way, but I just don't believe that a person that choose to use the medical marijuana should be considered the devil. A person that drinks. I mean, this been on earth for a long time. So what we have to do, we have to pray for every individual for whatever they choose to do. But I just don't think that was, if that's what he choose to do to be healed, then that's between him and God. We shouldn't have any comment of saying that, and especially to say men are devil. We got just as many women that are devils, so it can go both ways. So I just didn't want him to leave here and feel offended because of what he chose to do. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Talley?
And those comments were made under public comment. So I just want to say that the comments that people make under public comment are their own opinions. And I think my mom did say that, you know, she wasn't trying to offend anybody, or, you know, she was just making a point for herself being a minister of the gospel as well. So I just wanted to clarify that under public comment.
Okay, let's keep going. If there's no more communication, number 11 for approval is warrant 18-12.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. We pay warrant 18-12 for the following amounts. General Fund, $133,067.94. Major Street Fund, $12,543.08. Local Street Fund, $22,002.51. Cemetery Fund, $213.93. Cable TV, $80.37. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $6,644.32. Oakwood SAD, $381.82. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $174. 911 Service Fund, $7,300. Law Enforcement, $29,938.95. Narc Forfeiture State, $36.01. Library Fund, $3,150.86. DDA, $1,061.50. Tifa District 2, $38.50. Court Building Construction Fund, $177,678.97. Water and Sewer Fund, $662,199.83. Motor Vehicle, $25,547.35. Technology Services, $15,582.03. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $203,960.07. Revolving Fund, $2,165. General Tax Fund, $57,686.34. Current Tax, $11.84. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $25,079.51. Payroll Fund, $208,544.44. Total of all funds, $1,595,089.17.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 18-12 for $1,595,089.17. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant number 18-12 will be paid.
Okay. Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved to adjourn.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb for adjournment. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.